Good evening. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing good. Self-care Saturday. What did you guys do today for self-care? What are you doing right now for self-care is the question. I've been relaxing. That's what I've been doing today for self-care. I had a good day. Had a relaxing day. Kind of slept in because I was up late last night watching TV. And slept in a little bit, which is unusual for me, probably just because I was up so damn late. But it felt good. It felt really good. I got up, did some shopping. Um, Blessings of recovery. Bought a new television today, just getting things set up for our new apartment that we're moving into. It's really nice, man. It's been a long time to where I could actually practice some self-care and take time out for me, instead of being so serious all the time. Actually enjoy myself for once. Welcome, Tanya. Yeah, so self-care Saturday, guys. What do you guys do for self-care? How do you guys set those healthy boundaries, when it's your time? What do you guys like to do? I found a really cool article I'm going to bring up and read. I just randomly was searching and came across this one, and it kind of identifies the importance of self-care in in regards to addiction and recovery. It's a really good article. Not too lengthy. I'm going to bring it up real quick and read over it. If you guys want to comment in the chat while I'm reading it, drop what you guys do. How do you guys practice your self-care? It's really important. We have to keep ourselves focused on recovery and keep ourselves first, but self-care is also equally as important in doing so, and not taking things so seriously all the time, and taking time out for you. Is why self-care is important in addiction recovery. It says addiction is a substance abuse disorder, people that are in it can quickly take over your life and everything that's important around you. It says when you're in active addiction, drugs and alcohol become your main priority, and the importance of things like physical and mental health, work, school, and family gets drowned out by your needs of not being sober, not being clean. We're overwhelmed by it, guys. It says once you get clean, once you get sober, it can be incredibly easy to get caught up in the chaos of daily life, the getting and using, and forget that taking care of yourself is not an option, but a priority. Taking care of yourself sounds like an easy and simple task, but the reality is that most people struggle to find healthy ways to take care of themselves. It says whether they're not in recovery, whether they're in recovery or not. It's not an easy task when we're using. Um, what is self care? The idea of self care doesn't have to be overwhelming, doesn't have to be scary, though it definitely can be at first. I know it was for me because I didn't take care of myself, man. I beat myself up. Says in today's culture, self care is often thought to be taking a long bath, treating yourself to new clothing items. But it's much more than that, guys. It really is. The self care is different for everyone. It can look like a variety of different things. For some, self care will be doing dishes after coming out of a depressive episode. Not for me. The dishes make me depressive, or they're depressing. We have a bunch of dishes in our sink right now, and it's depressing. But for others, it said it's going to be buying a ticket to see a movie after a stressful week. It's relaxation, guys. The self care looks different for everyone. That's okay. Everyone's recovery looks different. Everyone's recovery or their self care is going to look different. It's what works for you, what you like to do to relax and take time out for yourself. Says taking care of yourself is not being selfish, guys. It's a healthy boundary to set. Says taking care of oneself is often viewed as a selfish act, and it's not. But there's a huge difference between being selfish and practicing self care. Learning to love and care for yourself is one of the most challenging things you will ever do. But having compassion, patience, and love for yourself is the cornerstone of getting and staying clean and sober, guys. Regardless of who you are, says that regardless of where you are in your journey to living a clean and sober life, self-care can be an essential part of your daily routine, part of your process, something you should do daily. 5 tips. Stay mindful. Awareness. You hear a lot about mindfulness in recovery, but so we hear about a lot about it. Says, but yeah. But what does being mindful really mean? What's it mean to you? What does being mindful mean? Mindfulness is the practice of being aware of physical and mental sensations, staying in the present moment. For a lot of this, I know for me, can be difficult. Says, and even uncomfortable at times. Sticking with the thoughts and feelings you're experiencing in the moment gives you a chance to get in touch with what's really going on inside you. And it allows you to explore emotions and thoughts that you've avoided when you were in active addiction. It says, connect with other people, reach out, be of service, share. It says addiction, depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions all thrive in solitude. They go hand in hand. It says in order to prevent a relapse and combat symptoms of poor mental health, it's important for people to find groups that will build you up in your recovery, your support network, provide you with the support to stay clean and sober. Going to 12-step meetings like AA, like NA are great ways, absolutely amazing ways to connect with people and to find some encouragement, some hope for the hopeless throughout the day. Because if you don't feel like you can benefit from a 12-step program, that is absolutely okay. Step meetings. There are other sobriety-based communities like Refuge Recovery and Smart Recovery. I am actually learning and reading about Smart Recovery right now. It was actually a task that my supervisor, my boss, encouraged me to look into to kind of broaden my horizons a little bit. And I am just touching the surface of it right now. And it's an amazing twist. It's a lot different, but it's a really cool twist on recovery and how they go about things. And they even offer online meetings too, just like AA, NA, and CA do. Finding balance, a healthy balance in your life is very important. Because as a society, we tend to place a lot of value on the things that we do. Because we equate busyness on how good, how productive, how valuable we are. Says, however, there's a destructive and dangerous mindset to those who are in early stages of recovery. When you begin to journey into clean time, into your sobriety, it can be extremely easy to spend all your time on one activity. You lose focus. I do. I scroll out all the time in an attempt to keep yourself distracted and to avoid the temptation of using drugs and alcohol. Trying to get out of your head and your stinking thinking. So you kind of over focus on one certain thing, to try to change your thought process or to get out of those triggers or those moments where you're just really, really eager. You want to go out, you want to do something stupid. Finding a healthy balance between work, school, life in general, and recovery activities like 12-step meetings, it can be hard. It can be tricky, but it's possible, guys. All these things can be fulfilling. But if you're focusing too much on one aspect of your life, as you can quickly find that you're going to get overwhelmed. And I just shared that, which could quickly lead you to relapse. Being overwhelmed is a red flag for me. I have shared that before, and I have to remind myself to slow myself down. That's why we're taking this extra time. Is a example right now, what's going on in my life right now in the moving process, because when I get overwhelmed and I get into a rush, into a hurry, I lose focus on what's really important and I get overwhelmed. I get stressed out. My anxiety goes through the roof, and ultimately I shut down and I get into a really, really bad mood. My attitude changes. It's just not good. No, Addie said it's not pretty, and it's not. And I'm being butt naked honest. It's brutal honesty for me. So it's taking time to be with yourself. It can be extremely comforting to surround yourself with people 100% of the time, but that's not always a realistic way to live your life. There's times where you're going to be alone or you're going to want to be alone. I know there is for me. I've become a master isolator. I actually enjoy not being around people because I still get social anxiety. So while connecting with other people, it's important. While connecting with other people, it's important. It's equally as important to take time to just be with you, to just take time out for yourself. You are a completely different person when you are using versus when you're sober. We're clean and sober today. We're completely different than the way we were when we were using. I know I am. And while at first it can be challenging to be alone, and it's a struggle. It's more than a challenge for me. It's a struggle. Time alone will eventually become time that you value. So spend a few hours a week learning who you are, sober, clean, exploring new places, discovering new activities, things you like to do, music you like to listen to, expressing yourself through visual arts or other means. Addie's sitting on the floor right now painting. These are things that she enjoys to do. I enjoy going out and listening to music and taking walks. It looks different for everybody, guys. Setting those healthy boundaries. I mentioned that a minute ago. Says before we got clean and sober, you probably had a group of people that you spent a lot of time with, and they weren't your friends. Let me tell you, that either encouraged you to use drugs and alcohol. These were people that you used with, right? Says then when you made that decision to get clean and sober, it affected that relationship. Those so-called friends weren't so-called friends anymore. They disappeared, right? How many of you guys relate to that? As difficult as it is, cutting off the communication with the people is gonna help you resist the temptation to going back to using your drug of choice. It's amazing how that keeps circling around, that full circle of changing your people, places, and things, how much that helps you in that temptation of wanting to use your DOC. You continue to keep going to the barbershop, eventually you're going to get your hair cut, right? So you got to change that. You got to change that thought process. The self-care is about protecting yourself and your sobriety, your clean time. Being open about the fact that you're living a clean and sober lifestyle is important. Recover out loud. Recover out loud. Let people know you are in recovery and wear it proudly. Share that shit. It's important because it lets people around you know that you aren't going to be drinking. You're not going to be using drugs. You're not going to put up with their bullshit. You're not going to put up with it no more. That's why I say recover out loud and be honest about where you are at in your recovery. Don't be ashamed that you are in recovery. Setting boundaries regarding who you spend time with, where you go, and what you will do to help avoid those situations that could set you up for relapse. In sobriety, you have plenty of opportunities to form new healthy relationships with people that are also in recovery. I think it's a really awesome reading, because it really talks about healthy things that you can do. It talks about changing your people, places, and things. Nothing changes if nothing changes. We have to change those old thoughts and behaviors, and the longer that we stay in recovery, they do. My thought process has changed. I'm more positive and solution based today versus where I was at when I first came into recovery. I'm not so much negative Nancy anymore. I don't beat myself up nearly as bad. I still have my days, guys. I still have my moments. Not rainbows and unicorns every day. Life shows up. The nice thing about being in recovery and surrendering daily and practicing the principles daily, working the steps, is I'm more solution based today. I use the tools in my recovery toolbox. A good friend of mine says, rip the lid off of it. And it's so true. It's a powerful tool. That lived experience of each and every one of you guys listening right now is a powerful tool. That's why I always say recover out loud. Share your experience, strength, and hope, and let other people know where you're at and be open and honest about it. We all have a unique story to tell, and it is a super powerful tool in our recovery toolbox, and people need to hear it. People need to hear our stories. That lived experience is super powerful, guys. And setting those healthy boundaries and taking time out for yourself and practicing self-care is super important. That's why I brought it up. That's why it's Self-Care Saturday today. And I've been doing exactly that. I try to take a day out of my week, or even an hour or so in the evening out of my day, especially after a busy, stressful day at work, to take time out for me, just to do what I would like to do. I shut the phone off, or I put it on silent or vibrate. It's my time. The messages can wait. The social media can wait. They're always going to be there, and they're not going anywhere. So I take time out for me. It was sunny and almost 80 degrees today here in Dayton. Beautiful day out, and I got to go out and enjoy myself. You guys can ask Addie. I very rarely on the weekends, on my day off, do I go out and do anything. And I went out by myself today. Addie had other things to do, and I took off in the car and went for a ride. And my other addiction of buying new electronics and shit kicked in, and I came home with a new TV, and I ordered a new gaming chair, and I ordered a new L desk. But it's a blessing of recovery. Here I am justifying my means and my actions, but it was definitely, yeah. See, now Addie, this is why I love her so much. She said, no, Joe, it was a reward, and you're allowed to, and it's a blessing of recovery, and it really is. Welcome, Erica. Beautiful day in Kentucky. We got some locals in here, not too far from us. I grew up in southeastern Indiana. I don't know what part of Kentucky you're from, but you know where Lawrenceburg or Bright, Indiana is, along the river where all the casinos are. That's where I was born and raised. I'm a Hoosier. I'm a Hoosier at heart. I miss the country. I miss Indiana. I honestly do not like city life, guys. I really don't. But this is where I'm at in my life right now, and we're making the best of it. Welcome, Lacey. My sponsors in here. I'm just kind of going through the list. Hard for me to multitask at the same time and read your guys' comments. That's awesome. Your aunt lives in Lawrenceburg. Well, see, there's something that's a relatable experience I just shared about. Just mentioned it, and bam, we've got something in common. That's an awesome thing. I used to work in Lawrenceburg. There's a tire store. I'm not going to mention their name because I kind of have a felony record with them. Oops. But yeah, they're right off the interstate on Route 50 in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. For those that are listening that know the area, they already know what tire store I'm talking about, but that's okay. I'm telling on myself, not an angel. But yeah, I love that area. I absolutely love it. Perfect north slopes in that area. It's this beautiful part. Indiana's a big part of my life, and I miss it. I can't wait to get back. I'm country. I want to be in a cabin like my sponsor, isolated in the woods, back away from everyone. Um, I want to not be able to put a obnoxious password code on my Wi-Fi like you seen earlier. And I am not going to mention what what it is right now because I will totally get in trouble. Um, but yeah, man, I miss it. You know, I'm getting there. One step at a time. I got to remember easy does it and slow my roll. I appreciate you guys staying in here and listening. Danville and Somerset. I've actually been to both areas in Kentucky myself. That's absolutely awesome. Lake Cumberland. You know, it's funny. I have never been to Cumberland and I would love to go. Friends go there all the time, jet skiing, boating. I've gone down into like Harlan, Kentucky and gone four wheeling. I'm a big off-roader. I love jeeping. I love off-roading. Um, you know, I've been down into the foothills and the mountains and that and gone wheeling before. Um, that's just something you guys don't know about me, but yeah, I'm a hillbilly at heart, guys. I absolutely love it. I grew up on Brookville Lake, in Brookville, Indiana. Spent a lot of time boating and tubing and jet skiing. Um, I'm a water guppy. You know, I'm one that'll jump off the boat in 100 foot of water and just swim away. I absolutely love it. Now I probably think because I'm getting fatter. I love you guys. Ah, plug the Q&A. Addie and I, when we get settled into our new place, we are going to do a Q&A with Addie and Joe. Once I get everything set up and we get moved, it's going to be within the next couple weeks. Just kind of stay tuned to the page. You guys want to send us some Q&As, questions you'd like to ask Addie and I. Addie comes from an Al-Anon background. She just recently celebrated over 5 years in her personal recovery journey in the Al-Anon field. And I come from a Narcotics Anonymous background. So if you guys have questions, just a Q&A session with Addie and I, Addie may open up and share a little bit of her story and share some of her experience, strength, and hope. It's to come, guys. It's going to happen. It's going to be a few weeks from now because next weekend we are definitely moving into our new place. For those that have moved, you know what kind of a nightmare and how busy we'll be. So the live streams won't be nearly as frequent, especially the closer it gets to next Thursday and Friday. But you guys know what's going on. I will still stay in touch. I'll still be doing my normal posting. It's a part of my recovery. It's a part of my daily routine. That's what I do, guys. I love each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys have a good evening. We're getting ready to go to dinner. It's 20 after 8 in Ohio, and we haven't eaten dinner yet, and we're both hungry. And we're going to go out and get something to eat and enjoy the rest of this evening. Hope you guys have a blessed night. Participate in your recovery. If you haven't already today, stay vigilant. Stay positive, guys. I love you. We will catch you guys later. Thanks to everybody for being in here tonight. It really means a lot. Please share the stream. Share them to your personal page and your recovery pages that you're a part of. The more we share, guys, the more we reach, the more we help. I love you guys. We will talk to you later.